The news I'm going to reveal to you today will create a lot of passion from a lot of people. Please direct your anger and your passion at Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, James Gunn, and especially Mr. Matt Reeves, not at me. I welcome your comments, but just remember, I am just the messenger. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is from a very reliable source from inside the studio that is Warner Brothers Discovery. But even the most reliable sources can be wrong. So take everything I tell you today with a pinch of salt, but I believe it's nothing but the truth, Garth. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most nostalgic girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Wednesday's edition of the DCU Daily. Yes, I have another exclusive for you. And my exclusives are never, ever wrong. I have been told by my reliable source, no, strike that, sources, because I've been told this for a number of weeks, that Matt Reeves has agreed to merge his The Batman crime saga with the DCU, with James Gunn DC Universe franchise. I believe this to be true. I believe that Reeves has been weakening to this for a very, very long time. They were never going to announce this while Superman was at its peak in cinemas. Well, the film, as far as I'm concerned, is pants and it was never at its peak. But you know what I mean, when it was making money. And it was making money. Because I'll keep on saying this. No profit, really, you know, because of how much they spent on the movie. But no one should sniff at a near on 600 million global haul for any movie. Proves there's interest in comic book movie, in cape shit, and that there's still interest in my beloved Superman, even if I hate that movie. Anyway, so yes, according to my sources, Matt Reeves has finally agreed to merge his The Batman crime saga with James Gunn's The DCU. But I'm not just going to drop that bomb on you and say see you later and let you get on with it. No. I'm going to explain to you how this is going to work. Now, I said a long time ago that this could only work if Matt was in total control of the Batman side of the DCU. And this is one of the things that they've been negotiating for a very, very long time. Because this has been in the works for a very, very long time. I'm not so sure how Robert Pattinson feels all about this. I did a video several months ago saying that Robert Pattinson doesn't want to be entrapped into a long-term franchise because, you know, he's not one of those actors who wants to be part of a franchise, you know, because he did all that with the vampire shit he did and probably pretty much fucking regretted it. So, but he's an actor. He's signed up. He has to do as he's told. Look, very interesting, fascinating situation. The thing is with this thing that there's certain scenarios here that I'm not sure. My sources kind of only know so much. But there's certain scenarios. One, as I've just said, that Matt Reeves is in total control of anything Batman related, you know, villains, creatures, Batman himself, Robin, Batgirl, all of it, right? All of that shit. That's one scenario. But there's another scenario that people have not really considered. Because I think there have been a lot of problems between James Gunn and David Zaslav and Peter Safran. You know, Zaslav did not like this Superman movie like me. Any self-respecting person who loves great films and good stories won't like that film. But I believe there could be a scenario that Gunn will be removed from DC Universe and take away all his plans, which means he won't be fired from WB. He will still work for them. He will take his Suicide Squad universe and his Superman and everything else, take it away and use it within his own universe. This is what should have been the case. There should never have been a DCU. There should have been Gunn in one corner, Reeves in another, Snyder in another. Congratulations to Zack Snyder. He's finally going to make his movie, The Last Photograph. Very exciting. But If it's set in World War II, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in certain propaganda, especially with what's happening in the Middle East today. I thought I'd like to make that absolutely clear. But I support Zach, and I'm glad he's making a film that he thought maybe he lost the opportunity to make. So everyone should have had their own corner at DC instead of this stupid franchise. The other day, Gunn was talking about gaming again. What happened to the fucking gaming? He said apparently there's been a change of people at WB Games. What's that got to do with fucking anything? You boldly and proudly announced the DCU, DC Universe, movies, streaming, TV shows, animation, and gaming. It shouldn't take as long as it is, right? You should have set up a unit already separate from WB fucking Games. We should have had a Superman game attached with the release of this Superman movie. But you are incompetent. Yes, games take time, so you should have waited for the game to be ready to coincide with the release of Superman. But you rushed out a piece of shit, and you didn't have a game to go with it. So even that is a fucking mess, if you ask me. Let's go back to Matt Reeves. So, as I said, the second scenario could be that Gunn is removed from the DC Universe, from that franchise, and he works in his own little corner. And Matt Reeves, which I've suspected for a long time, will become the new co-CEO of DC Studios, probably bringing his own executive. This would mean the removal of Peter Safran as the other co-CEO of DC Studios. I mean, I thought I understood what the meaning of the word CEO. I've researched what Gunn and Safran do, and in no way, shape or form do they do the jobs of CEOs, especially not Gunn. But anyway, so I think scenario 2 could be something to look at. But they're going to merge this Batman with this current franchise. It's weird to me. I don't, look, some guy, someone who worked on Superman was trying to explain how you can merge them both together, which tells me that what my sources are actually saying is bang on the money. What do I think about this? I think it's an absolute betrayal. I understand the position that Warner Brothers Discovery are in. I understand the mess that James Gunn and Peter Safran are in. They need a Batman in their franchise, which they shouldn't have set up in the first place. Everyone should get their own corner, then you wouldn't need to worry about another Batman. But I understand because they've set this up, they need their own Batman. And as we've discussed before, you can't have your own Batman, right? You can't have two Batmen, can you? It's fucking dumb. I mean, Batman's the most popular fictional character there is right now, but you still can't have two Batmen. Even Batman isn't popular enough for that. It would be fucking dumb. And we don't want to go down the MCU lines of a multiverse saga, which was Walter Hamada's original plan. It's clear the multiverse is a bit messy in live action. It's beautiful in comic form. In written form, it's beautiful. It's simply very, very hard to make work in live action, whether that's television. I think it would be quite successful in television because you've got episodes, you've got seasons. It could be very, very interesting. But in film, you've got less time to play with, and it is very, very difficult. But, so, I think we should absolutely steer clear with DC films and multiverse sagas. And, you know, this is why we don't want, you would have DC Elseworlds, you would have Matt over there. You could make Matt the CEO of DC Elseworlds. That would be quite interesting. But, you know, they've tagged Matt's universe as the Batman crime saga. The Penguin did really, really well. I'm not the biggest fan of that series. It took a very current day swerve, and I didn't like it. Check out my reviews for each episode to find out why. But, yes, Matt Reeves and his Batman are joining the DCU. And I believe it's one of those two scenarios. Either he's in total control of the Batman side of things, because I wouldn't want James Gunn to be let loose and have total control with no oversight of Batman. I mean, look what he's done to Superman. As I've explained before, he's pulled the red trunks down and done him dirty, pulled them down, done him dirty, and ruined Superman. Superman's walking around with a fucking limp because Gunn's done him so dirty. So we don't want that with Batman as well. I don't believe that Reeves will have many fans left if my source is correct. I believe that people will walk away from this crime saga because they feel betrayed. Because here's the thing, Matt Reeves and James Gunn made certain assurances. Assurances, if my sources are right, that have been broken. But make no mistake, you cannot trust these people. So it does look like, according to my sources, that Matt Reeves' Batman crime drama will join the DCU. Please be polite and constructive in the comments down below. But if you want real answers, go and ask Mr. James Gunn, Zaslav, and Matt Reeves. They're the ones who know what's going on. Or do they even fucking know what they're going to do or what they want to fucking do? There's not really a plan here, is there? Anyway, let's go on to Craig Fraser, the cinematographer, one of the greatest, most talented cinematographers in the business in current day Hollywood. It's strange to be talking about someone who's actually talented and a member of New Hollywood. But anyway, here we have it. He will not be returning, apparently, to be the cinematographer, to do the cinematography of the Batman 2. This is a major blow for Matt Reeves, DC Studios, WB, but especially for the fans of the original Batman. Because Craig Fraser is one of the best. But you're all fucking acting like he's the only fucking cinematographer in fucking Hollywood. There's plenty really good ones. Now, I've been attacked for saying this on X-Twitter. Mick, but there's a visual language. He did the first movie. Yeah. You can't use him. If you can't use him, you can't use him. So you have to find another fucking cinematographer, or the fucking director will have to pull his sleeves up. Right? Do you remember in the 20s to the 40s, or even in the 40s, directors used to do their own cinematography? What do they fucking learn at film school today? I know what I learned at film school, right? So I can roll my sleeves up and do some pretty cool cinematography. It's not that deep, by the way. But even a cinematographer like Craig Fraser doesn't just do whatever he wants in a movie. He would be giving the visual language that Matt Reeves told him to put out there. What that means is that Matt Reeves could still do his own cinematography. He can bring in a cinematographer to do the same thing, and they just have to keep an eye on the original film. And Matt Reeves is, and I'm sure they can get on the phone to Greg. They can get on the phone, hey, Craig Fraser, you know when you did this, how did you do that? It's difficult because he's his own man. He did things his way, and everyone does things differently. I understand that. But the reality is that Greg is not the only fucking cinematographer in Hollywood. It's a blow. It's disappointing. But this is what happens when you keep on fucking delaying your movie. When you keep on having the pace of the snail. Matt Reeves is a very, very slow creative. We've heard rumours about his health. I don't know where we're at with that. Last time I saw a picture of him or him talking, he looked fucking good to me. He must be the most healthiest ill person in the history of ill people. But anyway, just in case he is ill, I better hold back. A bit late now, I said what I've said, right? And I ain't taking it back. So, you know, the delays have messed up Matt Reeves here, no question. And there's been a lot of delays for this film. Some cannot be helped, and some could be helped if Matt Reeves actually had faster hands and faster fingers. Because we've seen great movies being made without this length of time being taken. It's fucking ridiculous. I know Matt Reeves cares. He's a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist too in whatever I do. But that's why we've lost Craig Fraser. That's why Matt's lost Craig Fraser, because he took too long to make his movie, and it looks like he hasn't got him anymore. But one thing to these idiotic cape shit fans on social media, attacking Craig attacking Greg Fraser for not doing this movie, choosing to do some Beatles biopic or whatever he's doing. And apparently their Batman 2, the movie they want him to do, is so much more important. What utter bollocks, right? That's the point of cinema. Variety. Did you just expect him to work on those films for the rest of his fucking life? This is an artist who wants to do a variety of cinema. Nothing's more funnier to me than to see these fans losing their shit and attacking the very people they claim to respect.